Now we are live. Hello, welcome to my channel. And today we have Alex F. So, Alex, would you tell us something about yourself by way of self introduction?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hi, Judy. Yeah, hi. How are you? It's good to see you again. Yeah, Alex. I met you a few about a month ago now. Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to think how long ago we met, but yeah, something a month or two.
Yes,
And yeah, this is just I was recently into a 12-step program in sort of 15 months ago, and just how it's through meditation, through the law of one, the Ra channelings, which is obviously how I came to meet you,
yes,
uh, and yeah, that's through that sort of process, here I'm now, here on with you being interviewed, and this is all new sorts of stuff, and yeah, it's super cool. So, but no, life of like a lot of people, um, looking for external things to sort of bring me happiness, which led me sort of down a tricky path of drink and drugs and girls and money and all of these external things. That I think like looking for what we're all looking for, that sort of inner peace and that inner happiness, and and what's life all about, and these bigger questions which I didn't realize is what I was looking for when I started. It was obviously life's life, you against the world, make money and you'll be happy.
yeah,
But you know that's not true. So you won't be happy. It comes from within, and yeah, so that's, but anyway, that's me. Yeah, so anyway, drinking drugs all behind me now, 15 months, and now I sponsor people and I help people through the program, and I run a business that employs people who are in recovery, to try and give them a start, and yeah, and that's who I am.
that is so, that is such a great art, especially employing people. Because when, with that kind of background, I'm sure it's very hard for them to find work. I mean, when you are in this 12-step program, by the time you reach there, I think those people is probably very hard for them to find employment.
I mean, it's surprisingly, I think you'd be surprised at how many normal people, um, that you think are normal,
Yeah,
have these problems, whether it's with drink and drugs, or or pharmaceuticals, or painkillers, or there's all these different. I mean, even with um, I've lost you, Trudy. Have you disappeared? But yeah, there you go.
I, I just,
um,
yeah,
yeah, so I think with yeah, there's lots of people who are just bottle of wine a night, two bottles of wine a night, just to sort of get through the day, and then so it's so the rooms of the 12-step program that I would go to, are packed out with normal people in jobs, normal lives, directors, business owners. It's far from, I think, what people think it's going to be like.
yeah,
It's a lot different, and I think the expectation is that it's a bunch of homeless people who live on park benches. It's really not. It's women in their 20s, women in their 30s, men in their like I say, business owners. It's every walk of life, and uh, it's yeah, surprising how many, and just because it's not about losing everything. It's about, is life unmanageable? Are you miserable? You know, do you want a new life? And through the 12-step program, which is all about us having a spiritual awakening, um, and not just a spiritual awakening. It's really changed for me now. You know, it's like life's brand new. It's you know, I was talking to a couple of guys outside a meeting yesterday, and we were talking about the sunset and the sunrise. And you know, these are three guys who a couple of years ago, the three of us were talking about all the women we'd slept with and the amount of drugs we'd taken and how much money do you know what I mean? Very different. And now it's just like we're appreciating, you know, sunrises and sunsets and look how beautiful the world is, and you know, trying to help others. So it's a, you know, it's just a very different life now in once you get opened up to the concept of there is, you know, an infinite creator, or you know, a God of your understanding. And you know, I don't know, it's I have normally I pull back a little bit at this stage, because in a meeting people were so cut off, they're not really, they don't want to hear about spiritual things.
Yes.
But obviously here on your channel, I suppose I can let loose and be as crazy as I like with spiritual stuff.
Yes.
So
It's a spiritual channel.
so yeah, it's very, yeah, the spiritual stuff is yeah, you know, it just sort of all clicked in through the law of one, and how we are all one, we're all part of one thing, and this is an experience. This whole thing that we call life is according to the law of one and the Ra channelings, and you know, from the 1980s.
Yes.
Is we are all a fragment of God's, a thought of God's, having an individual experience.
Yeah.
So, and there's a veil of forgetting that's between us and the creator, or the other dimensions and the other beings within the other dimensions. And that veil allows us to have an independent experience that's completely independent. So it's a true experience, and we have free will. And with free will, we can do whatever we want, and you know, go down the bad path or go down the good path. You know, and what they sort of say in the law of one, there is no true right or wrong. It's just an experience.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this life, we understand that there's consequences to our.
Yes.
Do we want to spend, you know, all of our life in prison? Is that the experience we want to have? No, that's not the experience we want. But it's just that for the creator, for God, it's just an experience. You know, he's just experiencing life through us.
Yeah.
And then through that, it's a case of, you know, help, you know, then the truer path of service to others is a path of, you know, service. But it's a path of service in when people come to you and want help. It's not, you don't go around trying to help everyone, trying to save everyone. They're on their own path.
Yeah.
We're
so
on a,
go
yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So going back a little bit. So you are right in correcting that misconception, because you know, I tend to think of those in anonymous, I mean those in the 12-step program, as those that are like, you know, but you are right, they come from different walks of life. Like I know a priest, a very really wonderful priest. He battled it for alcoholism for years. He went into the
Yeah.
program, but he just couldn't kick it. I think it stayed with him. And it has to be so hard, because it's like living a double life. You know,
Yeah.
they have to pretend that everything is normal when they are at work, until it gets to a stage where they can't hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your own. That's your own suffering. When you start to suffer, you don't care about anybody else, because you're, you know, drinking and taking drugs or whatever. it's only when, you know, and then you have you're drinking and you do something bad, or you shout at someone, or you know, you do something that's you upsets, and you feel bad the next day. But because you feel bad, you have to drink again because you don't want to feel your feelings.
Ah,
That's sort of the crux of it. Is I don't think I've felt any feelings, or I didn't allow myself to sit in a feeling for a longer time, and I don't think a lot of people do. You know, people don't want to feel bad. They don't want to have that noise in their heads. You know,
ah,
upset about, you know, whatever it is. So yeah, you can hide your feelings with, you know, with booze and with drink, obviously, and that's what I did. You know, so now when I have a feeling, and they're called feelings for a reason, right? You're supposed to feel them. You're supposed to
yes,
feel the feeling. Yeah?
yes,
So and you realize from meditation and sort of the law of one, and is understanding that the growth of your spirit over in this side, the growth of your spirit comes from those lessons.
yeah,
All everything that you need to learn, the only way to learn from any suffering is to sit in it and to, you know, and really contemplate on what happened, on the process of what you've been through. So and look at your part. What did you do? What did I do in that scenario? Was I at fault? What could I have done better? You know, and that's been such a, you know, because I'm obviously, you know, far from perfect. I'm as flawed as everyone else, and that sitting in a feeling, you know, an uncomfortable feeling, you know, like if I've done something, you know, if I've upset someone, and thinking about my actions, what did I do? What could I have done better? You know, and once you start to analyze that, and that's how we grow, that's how we learn, that's how you if you can genuinely sit in the feeling and let yourself grow and learn. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's that's what it's been about. So yeah, so it's been interesting.
yeah. So going back to again to the just what you shared earlier about, you know, creation according to the law of one. I find that really fascinating. So how would you put it that God wants to experience Himself, and so we are like in that oneness experiencing things for the infinite creator? How would you put that experience?
Well, apparently, according to the law of one, there's
Yes,
infinite there's galaxies and infinite, you know, planets with life, and because God is infinite, and so He's having to understand Himself or itself. It's He goes through. Living through us, sort of thing, and every experience is an experience of every scenario, and every situation is the creator having an experience through us. So it's yeah, it's mad when you think about it, but
yeah,
yeah, but it says in the law of one, when you it now it's about unity and about coming together, obviously, and understanding that we are all one, and that once we sort of get to that place where we you know understand what we are all one, then all the wars the next stage is love, and we stop fighting each other, and we, you know, we learn to, and then apparently, and then through, so life in the law of one is obviously about consciousness. It's
yes,
consciousness becoming evolving, not us, you know. So consciousness evolving is, so then our brains, you know, our consciousness. So with what I've been doing lately, or what I found lately, because everyone keeps talking about living in this moment, living in now,
yes,
and because it's what you do, right? It's we're not going to remember. The average person has 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000. So, do you remember how many of your thoughts do you remember from yesterday? Like hardly any, right? You know,
Yeah.
all of that thinking is borderline a complete waste of time. Like, and so when you go into meditation, obviously you focus on your breath and you can quiet your mind. But what I found is you can focus on your breath in the day just while you're walking around and be completely present in now, in the only thing that's real. The only thing that's real is this moment that you and me are speaking, and life is the eternal. There's only now forever. There is no tomorrow. There's just now. That's all that exists. So being present in the moment, because it's only what you do is what you're going to remember, not what you thought about. So that noise of what's going on in your head, and this is all down to the program, the 12-step program and the Law of One teachings that I've got to this, and lots of people have got to this place where you can just sort of just focus on your breathing and just be present in this moment. The only thing that's actually real in this world. This story, this imaginary story in your head, that's not real, doesn't exist. It's just like it's a dream in your head that, you're worried about what someone said yesterday, or you're worried about what that happened there, blah, blah, blah. This is just pointless conversation constantly going around in the head. So if you can just be present, and then if you're present in this moment and just stay present in this moment, all of that fear starts to go, and you can stop worrying. Worry is a complete waste of time, so 100% you need to look at things that we do, actions that we take, and we need to be caring and loving and useful to others. But if you stay present and just look to put love, which apparently is the whole energy of the universe, according to the Law of One, into every situation, might be tough love sometimes, but just put love into it. And make sure that you're being of use and helping others, that you can have a pretty good life. And I've only just started doing it today, because I was late. I was waking up this morning, and I didn't want to get out of bed. I was like, I need to go to work. I need to because of the 12-step program, I have to meditate every day, morning and night, first thing, as soon as I get up. That's the rules for the 12-step program. So
really?
yeah. That's it. Like, it's just, yeah. And then I have a group on my phone with like 10, 15 other guys, and we all check in every morning, prayed and meditated. We do it in the morning and we do it in the evening, and it just keeps us all doing it. But anyway, so I'm laying in bed, I'm like, I need to meditate. And I was like, well, I don't actually have to get up and meditate. I could just meditate in bed. I could just, go inside my mind, quiet my mind, and meditate here. So and then once I started meditating there, I was like, right, it's really peaceful now. Now I'm not. Before I was like, I don't want to get up. And it's all of those thoughts is stopping me from doing anything.
Yes.
Just getting out of bed. And I'm like, without that thought, how productive would I be? So I just sort of I know I have to get up. I have to feed the dog. I have to go for a walk. I have to exercise. I have to work. I have to do all of these things. Now I can either do them with all crazy thoughts in my mind about, I'm depressed. What a crappy day. But if you just like meditate with your eyes open, practically just breathe, stay conscious in this moment, just stay conscious here and now, the only thing that exists, then you can, I had an amazing morning. I got so much done. Cleaned the bathroom, cleaned the blah, 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 got up work, went to see an office, did loads of things. And I just stayed present. I didn't let myself think about the stress of the day or the worry of the day. I just stayed here in this moment and just stay really present. So yeah, that's been, and this is all of this stuff is just like, yeah, it's when you understand about consciousness, or you start to understand about consciousness, which is all, like I say, everything that I've been learning from the Law of One and Ra channelings and different channelings. Although all the channelings I listen to are Ra stuff, LL Research, and then there's another lady on Interview with ED. I don't know if you know them. There's a Ra channeler there as well. So all of my stuff comes from Ra. So yeah. But yeah, consciousness is all about consciousness, and everything from Ra channel is saying is that the next stages of the evolution of consciousness is when our minds stop being so busy, when our minds stop talking so much, so that we can hear the creator. The creator can't talk to you if you're too busy talking to yourself. So through quieting your mind, that's when the creator can talk to you. So that's why in meditation, you're supposed, like, you'll get, obviously there's no voice coming, Trudy, don't do it. That's, creator's not going to talk to you. His voice is inaudible. So the creator talks to you through like intuition, gut instinct, feelings, like, should I do that? Should I, blah, blah, blah. So, and and then walking in nature. I've started grounding. I've started walking barefoot when I walk the dog now. I'll take the dog out. And yeah. So I'm doing all these crazy, mad things that seem insane to me. But that's, it's all come from this.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's been pretty crazy. It's been a pretty crazy journey.
Yeah, I like that. The way you explain about being in the present moment. And I do a lot of that, but what helped me was, I start going into the self-inquiry, which is like drawing out the real self, our real self. And when I draw out the real self, then I find myself that I'm able to be in this recollection where the mind doesn't work so much, the mindfulness on the present moment. At the monastery, we call it recollection. You get recollected, focus, concentrated. Now the oneness, that is a concept very difficult to really assimilate, because for us on third density, we are so much a unit apart from others,
Separation, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all separated.
The
Yeah.
duality.
But it says in the Law of One, when we look at others, we should see ourselves, and when we look at ourselves, we should see the creator. When you see others, see the creator. In everything you look at, see the creator, and including yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, and then I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like everything that you can see around you right now, even you in your living room, everything that you're looking at, touching, feeling, wearing, all of your clothes, was once a thought in somebody's mind. And then they drew it down on a piece of paper. So they took it from the first dimension, they put it onto the second dimension, they drew it on a piece of paper, and then they made it. So creation, we've created everything here on this planet. We've created ourselves, so we are creators here. But apparently it goes on from here, where we can literally, physically, apparently create our reality. And it's percept. I walked into, and we were looking. He was looking at all of the men in there and like looking like who we might have to have a fight with, or, like who he looks like trouble, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't. And I remember coming out and just thinking, our perception of that place is very, very different. I've walked into a nice restaurant and just enjoyed the atmosphere and blah, blah, blah. He was looking for trouble because he's fearful. He's got fear in his heart. He's a fighter, the guy. So he's looking for trouble. So we both walk into the exact same place, but our perception is completely different of where we are and what's going on and what could potentially happen. And that's sort of similar to your reality. Like, your reality is different to my reality and everybody's reality. And it's all in perception. So if you don't look for trouble, if you're not walking around in fear, then you're not looking for these problems that, oh, he might rape me, or he might mug me, or he might steal my car, or but if you don't walk around with that perception, you're just living in fear constantly. It changes your perception. I was walking around in fear, when I was drinking and taking drugs and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you're always looking for like some people are, everyone's selfish, everyone's on the take, everyone's just like me, a selfish piece of crap, and wants to rob, steal, take whatever. So it was it's been your perception is everything. So yeah, no, it's crazy with perception.
Yeah. So how are you going on with your channeling, your meditation, your channeling? Last time you were
um
sharing about when you was channeling your higher self and your Joe's
yeah
go.
yeah no, I haven't. I I did that one, that one that when my jaw started moving, and
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't know. The time's never been right now because I feel like I've stepped into it a little bit. But I tell you what, I have. Like I can see. I saw like a shadow the other day, and it was not a shadow, I don't know what it was, something in my room, and I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to lift the veil on a whole other world a little bit, but and I don't know how far I want to take all that stuff, but yeah, it was. And then my dog was barking at nothing in my bedroom like a lot.
Yes.
It was scared, you know. So it's scary stuff, all that stuff. But yeah, but I don't know about channeling, because then channeling, obviously, you need somebody else there to ask you questions so that because obviously I've looked into it a lot, and everyone I've all the things I've heard have been about, it's letting something else talk through you, obviously. So you're kind of handing your vocal cords over, and you're sort of sitting on the back seat a little bit, and while something speaks through you, so that there's a message there that needs to be shared. So then you've got to start, like you do, start a YouTube channel and start. I don't know if I want to start channeling publicly and all. I mean, I'm helpful for my higher self to, give me advice and intuition, but to actually start channeling and because that's a message that you need to share, like you do, and I don't know if I want to do that yet.
Well, you can channel for your own, messages for yourself, like
Yeah,
channeling higher self.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to, but yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to ask it a question. You'd have to ask. I'd have to get. How did you do it? How did you start when you started doing it?
Ah, well, when I start doing it, I simply invite them in, and then I ask them, what message they have, and that's pretty much the way I do it. Of course, the perfect way is like what Carla Rocket did. She went into complete trance.
Mm.
That is, and I don't have that kind of means, so I just do it this way.
Who does that?
Carla, the one who Carla Rocket who channeled the law of one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Carla Rock, yeah, Carla Rocker,
Carla.
yeah,
Yeah, that is
yeah,
the purest form. But it's very interesting that you are so much into the Ra collective, the law of one. So
mm.
I really remember 2 sessions back, and I completely zoned out, and I found myself saying, "You are one of us."
Yeah. I remember that.
I
Yeah.
I completely I was I even now I can sense their energy very, very strongly. So I
Yeah,
believe you probably come from them. There
yeah.
are not many, but today I only know two who said they directly come from the Ra Collective, and one is Pamela Mace, MACE. She does a lot of videos on Law of One.
Oh, right, okay.
It came to, well, she had an awakening, and all of a sudden she found she could relate to the Law of One. Not only that, even before they say something, she already knew what they were going to say. So she went to a reader, and she didn't give the name, but most of us could guess that it was Sam the Illusionist. And he told
Okay.
her that she comes from the Ra Collective. And
Oh,
so
okay.
she does a lot. So she had a channel about gardening, and she switched to Ra Collective. So she does a lot of videos teaching the Law of One. Well, it's not
Yeah.
easy to understand Law of One for most people. And
Yeah.
so she goes into that. Pamela Mace, Mace.
Yeah. Now I think you told me about her before, and I did go and have a look at her. I think you told me about her, maybe via email or something, maybe. But anyway, but yeah, I did go and have a look at some of her stuff. Yeah, it's such a it's like trying to read a different language sometimes. It's so just the way the Ra Collective spoke back then at that time.
Yeah.
Seems different now, because now there's a couple of new channelers. There's another girl who does. She's also she's trance as well. She goes into full trance,
Ah,
and channels. Yeah. So, and she's been channeling Ra for a long time, and the message
so
seems different. But I think because obviously, what they can only use your vocabulary,
yes.
obviously, because they can only use the words that are in your head, because it's all done through vibration or something like that, but or frequency and vibration. So yeah, they can only use I imagine it's the same with you. They can only use the vocabulary that you have and
So
the words that you understand. And yeah,
what's her name?
she's anonymous. She's anonymous. She doesn't have she's on
I mean, her channel.
interview. The interview with Ed, or interview with ED, Extra Dimensions.
Ah,
The guy's name is Ruben, something, can't remember Ruben's last name, but it's his channel, and then she goes on as a guest, and her screen's blurred over, and then she'll do a channeling.
yeah. I'll look that up. There's another one, Gabriel Lugo. He does a lot of Ra.
Yeah,
He goes into explaining the Law of One. Apart from
yeah,
Aaron Apke, of course, everybody knows about
yeah,
him.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
Aaron's the
Brian Scott.
Brian Scott. Yeah, I mean, Brian Scott will just read whole sections, but I mean, obviously, yeah, he's got massive following as well. Brian, I listen to loads of his stuff, and Aaron, and yeah, it's
Brian.
I like.
Yeah, Brian Scott just read, but he will read like from core, and it's very different when you listen to his material when he reads it than when you try to listen to core, because if you listen to the original audio, it's very slow.
Yeah,
The channeling itself is very slow, and when he reads it, he has that voice. It's really. I listen to a lot of his videos.
yeah, Brian Scott's.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. No, he does. He does some really interesting stuff with the way he'll collect different quo channelings about one subject, or Ra channelings, and then he'll put it all together in one video. So yeah, I mean, he obviously puts a lot of work in, and puts together a really good podcast. Yeah, I got a lot of time for Brian and Aaron as well. But it is this. There's so much. It's so profound, the teachings that are in there, and it just sort of all makes sense that we are all one, and this is just a journey that we're all on, and we're part of this experience,
Yeah.
and to just spread love and be happy, and stay conscious in the moment, and don't get lost in the thoughts in your head, and that noise. Do you know what I mean? Just stay present, and I find that's sort of, apparently that's one of the next stages, is that quietens down the mind, and just being consciously aware all the time. So
Yeah.
so that's
So I was reading about meditation from the Law of One. So would you like to go into that meditation from the Law of One? What they say on that?
So I mean, it just keeps saying to anything that you want about manifesting, and everything is done through meditation, and anything you want in this sort of experience. So first of all, being in contact with the creator, it talks about doing chakra meditation, and sort of aligning all your chakras and blah blah blah. Now, I never knew anything about chakra meditation, and I don't, it's just about putting your attention on certain parts of your body, your heart, your throat,
Yeah.
your third eye, and there is energy there. Once you keep practicing, it's just that practice of meditation. It's just so, like, the practice of meditation. It's so amazing how much it's changed my life, and just being really calm and centered, and then quiet in your mind, and just getting that focus from meditation, and in there is where you can manifest and start to create. I mean, according to the other Ra channeling, apparently, like, there's a chakra in our hands, and then we can sort of raise our hands and sort of send love, like, across borders,
Yeah.
change the weather, and heal people. So all sorts of really I don't know, exciting things potentially, that sort of are ahead for us all,
Yeah.
as we evolve in through this process. So it's really amazing stuff. But it's hard to you create your own reality with your thoughts, and with your thinking, and your perception, and all of these things. So with the meditation, just in there, just ask for whatever you want. Like, when I asked to get sober, when I stopped wanting to take drugs, when I said out loud, I got it. It's that whole ask and you shall receive, or knock and it shall be opened. And it's that same principles, these thousands of years old principles, that
Yes.
turns out to be true. Do you know what I mean? That, and if everything is vibration, as everything is vibration and frequency, your eardrums, hear a vibration. That's your eardrum is receiving that vibration and turns it into words. Your vocal cords are vibrating to create sound and create words. Everything, I think Nikola Tesla said, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. And the law of one just talks endlessly about that's what everything is. Now, there's not a lot of talk of frequency and vibration in any of the spiritual, traditional spiritual religious things that we get at the moment, but everything's in meditation. So I've been working on the meditations. Obviously, are sort of chakra energy connecting, and then once your crown chakra connects in, that you're in contact with the creator. Once you feel that energy there, that's when I felt that when I got that bit of channeling, that's when I got the jaw thing. I felt all of the chakras lined up, and then I felt the crown as well. And but again, I mean, I was looking at the chakra thing the other day, and on the law of one, and obviously there's sort of things to do and focus on with each chakra having a different aspect about you and who you are, and that sort of getting to know yourself, know thyself, and So like the root chakra is, you know, obviously sex and, you know, basic, you know, your basic sort of living. And then the orange chakra is your self, understanding yourself. Then the yellow is your sort of relationships with others. Green, raise your heart, springboard towards infinite intelligence. Blue's your which is your ability to communicate with others. And then the third eye, pineal gland, is your sort of connection to the creator. So it's just about, I think about getting all through meditation, starting to understand yourself. Meditation is not just about focusing and just having a quiet 10 minutes like it's a stress ball. Inside meditation is is there's problems to your life, is the answers to your life, is the answers to you know, to your happiness, to your to who you are. Everything is in, you'll get those answers in meditation, you know. And
So for someone beginning, how would you you know how would you describe how you start your meditation? I mean, when you first started meditation, how did you get into it? It's a process. Actually, it's a process. I think it's a process different from everyone, for each individual. That's what I found out for myself. And for me, I think to do meditation is just to start. And once you start, you know, the spirit or your mind or your higher self will start teaching you how to do it.
It's so insane how important meditation is. It's so like, you know, you're just walking around with like an untrained mind, you know, without meditation, you know, just to be able to put your focus where you want it, so you don't have to listen to a story that's going on in your head that's not relevant, you know, to put your attention where you want. And I think so for me, I started off with, you know, just YouTube guided meditations, you know, just have a go at those, you know, and ear defenders, you know, get some ear defenders, have real perfect silence, or, you know, headphones, obviously. So at the moment, what I do is I've got I've got these I've got ear defenders, so I'll literally put those on and just have complete silence, and then you can really sort of go into yourself in, you know, on no distractions, and very quickly, because obviously you've got to sort of quieten down that surface level noise in your head, and once you get past that surface level noise that's telling you this is stupid, I need to do this, I need to go, you know, walk the dog, I need to wash the dishes, you got to wait for all that crap to stop, and just focus on the breathing. And every time your mind wanders off, just bring it back to the breath. Just focus where you want your attention. So you want to focus on your breathing, keep your attention there, and that's what you're doing with meditation. It's that mental push-up of putting your attention where you want it, your focus where you want it, and just keeping it there. And your mind will keep drifting off and talking and telling some story and blah blah blah, and then you just come back to the breath. And just every time you do that, it's like a push-up, and you can just train your mind to stay where you want it. You know, like I'm talking to you, so I'm having this conversation, so I need my attention to be here, not off drifting, thinking about 10 other things, you know. So, and it's through meditation that you can do that. And you just keep doing that push up of bringing your attention back to the breath, and don't judge yourself. And every time the mind wanders off, come back to the breath. You can, you know, at first I thought you had to like lay down or sit cross-legged and all these different things to meditate. You can meditate. I can meditate right now. Just sit in a chair and, like, as you know, obviously you've done this for years, but just to sit and just, you know, just close your eyes and start focus on your breath there, and start there, and just play with different meditations. There's so much in there. I just, you know, meditation is everything. It's my whole life now. So not my whole life, but you know, it's so easy to not do it, but to realize that story in your head that you're telling yourself of all what he did yesterday, that and what she did and what he said and blah 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 is a waste of time. What is happening right now? And be present in this moment. And meditation gives you that ability to be present. And then eventually you can almost walk around. So when you're not meditating, just focus on your breath and just be present in the moment. And because lost in story, because your body doesn't know, your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So if you're imagining that you've had with someone yesterday, your body's getting all of those sensations still. You're still feeling stressed. You're feeling angry. And you're just reliving this stuff. When in reality, you just sat in your living room, on your own or whatever, but you're having this fight for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It's that's a waste of life. That's a waste of energy. It's a waste of, and just keep going over things. What's actually real? You're sat in a chair or you sat here, you hear at this moment. Be present in the moment and just through, like I say, through that sort of conscious breathing, I'm calling it. Just be conscious of your breath all day, and it'll keep you in this moment, and it stops you from drifting off into some la la land story about what Steve said to you yesterday that you didn't like. That doesn't matter anymore. Steve's not here. Steve's gone. Steve's already forgot about the conversation, but yet 10 hours later, you're still thinking about it. And it's like, it's a waste of energy, waste of time. Be present in the moment. And it's just just focus on your breath. Close your eyes. Do it right now. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. There you go. You're meditating. That's it. It's that simple. It couldn't be easier.
Yes.
How long have you been meditating now? How long have you?
Well, I started when I was 17. I entered the monastery at the age of 17. And the interesting thing is, the novice mistress told me, it's time for meditation. You cannot recite the rosary. And here's a book that can help you with it. And that was it. For a contemplative order of nuns, they never taught us how to meditate. I never get
What did you
over that.
So paint the picture. So what's the scenario? So you're having to sit quietly.
Yes.
Are you all together in one room?
Yes, in one room, 1 hour.
And so they're all meditating, and you'll just sit there thinking. Are you just like, what do I do?
Yeah. So it was a book on the meditation on the Passion of Jesus. So I started using the Passion of Jesus to meditate. Much later, I realized what I was doing was pretty much the Ignatius of the Jesuit, way of meditation.
Saint Ignatius.
Saint Ignatius, like being.
I went to Saint Ignatius school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My school was called Saint Ignatius.
I started by putting myself in the scene, like agony of Jesus in the garden. So I imagine I'm there with Jesus and all that too. And that was how I started teaching myself how to meditate. And then I found that my breath was distracting. So I started concentrating on my breathing. So I would say, God breathing in, God breathing out.
How long had you been meditating before you got to that stage?
Oh, probably a couple of years. Yeah. At the beginning, it was very, very hard. And then it was only like maybe 10 years ago, I went to the Buddhist monk to learn how to meditate. And I found it is all concentration on the breathing. So I thought even when I didn't know, I was using breathing to help me learn meditation.
Yeah.
Of course, for me, what was saving grace for me was 4 years after I entered the monastery. One day I just suddenly felt possessed by, for me, it was possessed by God. So all of a sudden, you know, of course, by that time, I had got into this meditation where, you know, I just feel that I'm in the presence of God and it's very nice. And my mind, my thoughts doesn't bother me that much. But this one was like something very serious because it simply pulled me inside of myself, and I am just completely absorbed in God for 4 days. And after that, it was easy. I just got
Four
into
days.
it. 4 days.
4
I
days
didn't,
meditating.
yeah, I didn't have to meditate because this force just possessed me. I was like in
Okay.
a zombie state. I didn't talk or anything. Just go on the motion of life, completely absorbed by this force. So that was
What's
when
the what's the longest meditation you've done? Like how long? What's the longest meditation you've ever done?
5 hours,
5 hours. Wow.
because that was a few years ago, because I have already entered into trance meditation. I
Right.
realized the monks can do it for hours on end because
Yeah.
they enter into trance meditation. Otherwise, there is no way. Even an
Yeah.
hour can be very difficult and long.
Yeah. I've done an hour. I've done an hour. I did an hour, and I could have stayed. But I mean, because I don't know what's like. I say, I heard a Buddhist monk. I can't remember his name now. He said, when you're doing sort of contemplative meditation, don't get lost in this. Don't get lost in the story, like inventing a story that doesn't exist. You know, if you're doing contemplative meditation, that you're trying to heal parts of yourself or whatever, okay, Trudy said that and I didn't like it. Okay, but stick to the facts, stick to that information. Okay, so if I'm gonna meditate on that, that scenario,
Yeah.
okay, Trudy said that and I didn't like it. Why did I respond like that? Why did I? Don't get lost in, well, the next time Trudy says something like
Oh,
that, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that. Or now you're dreaming. Now you're in, this is this is an invention. It doesn't exist. Or the next time or whatever. This is just stick with the facts and stay in the actual reality, not dreaming about scenarios that haven't happened or are going to happen or, you want to happen or whatever. Just stay in the facts. And soon as your mind drifts off towards a story, bring
yes.
it back. Same thing like the breath, but now you do it with your thoughts and just stick to the actual facts. He said this, I didn't like it. Why didn't I like it? Blah blah blah. What could he was rude or whatever it is. But don't start dreaming. That's dreaming. Now you're just that's not meditating. Come back to the reality of what's real. Why don't you like it? What happened to you in the past? Why do you react like that? Could you have reacted better? Blah 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 blah. And stick to the actual reality, not the dream.
Yeah, I like that, the story in the mind. Well, very often for me, something would just tell me, stop the thoughts. Like even if I perform a good act, the mind would just tell me, stop the thought, detach. Because that is when the mind started creating this story, patting yourself on the back, and then
Yeah,
it
yeah,
lost the purity of the action.
yeah.
But I
What was
like,
it? Do you remember the 5 hour meditation? What was you doing?
well, I when those days I could meditate at home, so there's a church nearby, so I just went to the church. Well, what I was aiming at was 8 hours. This monk told me that a Catholic priest went there and he spent 8 hours in meditation. So I went and I was able to do five. Five was very hard. Four was quite easy, but five was very hard. So I essentially do the Buddhist form of meditation, just emptying the mind and
Yeah,
staying lost in the presence of the infinite creator, presence of
yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's weird how you can sort of go off into like a different place, and just that's the thing about not listening to the story. So in the law of one, you know, they obviously there's negative entities as well, and apparently they can have access to our thoughts. They can, there's like a thought war where they can put in, they can't affect free will, but they can go punch that guy in the face, you know, have a drink, take a
Oh,
drug,
yeah.
you know, make you miserable. Yeah, apparently there's like other dimensions where in the fourth, I think the fourth density, where they can affect us. And Carla Ruckart,
Yeah.
is under attack in like almost a physical attack. They can make you ill. They can, yeah, all of these mad things because obviously they're not in part of time. So yeah, Carla got sick at one point, no, was it Carla or one of the guys?
I
And
think
apparently he'd taken a drug or something, or LSD, or smoked somewhere, and they like the negative entities had affected it somehow, and he was ill and blah blah blah. But yeah, there's like a whole, you know, good and bad, you know, out for our souls, like having like we're like a game down here, and they're like can affect us where they
yeah.
can affect us in a bad way and affect our thoughts. And if you think about it, it's our thoughts. You know, if they're having bad thoughts, you're having a bad day, and it's all because of your thoughts. You know, oh shit, I feel blah 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 blah. But if you stop thinking, then that stops. You
Yeah.
just have
It's
to learn how to stop thinking. So it's
simplified. Thoughts is what complicate. You know,
everything.
when you stop the thought, it's simplified. I always use an example. For instance, if you go to work and then somebody look at you and then your thoughts go, oh, she's angry with me. And
Yeah,
then once you have that thought, and then when she turned to look at you, you're influenced by that thought. And then she looked at you and saw your face, and she picked up on
yeah,
your emotion and say, oh, this person, have something against me. And it create a situation that need not be there if we didn't
all
have
in
that.
your head. All
Yeah.
in your head. All the endless, like endless conversation, endless narrating your whole life. You know, you're walking down the street. Oh, he's fat. He's a dick. She's just, you know,
Yeah.
judging everyone, judging everything. That's not you. That's this voice. That's this thing. You are consciousness. You are the thing that hears the voice. So we
Yeah.
hear that voice, but who hears the voice? Well, the real you hears it. The consciousness, God, the Creator. That's who hears it. You know, it's that you're the silence in the background, and this brain thing that just talks to us endlessly talks to us. It's not, you know, it's like when people go, oh, I can't stand it, but you know, driving me mad. Well, who's driving you mad? Yourself. It can't be, because that's, you know, it's something else is inside your head talking to you. And then obviously there's lots of crazy people, you know, who just, you know, obviously because of that, because this thing won't shut up. And that's the
Yeah.
thing about meditation. And there's a great guy, what's his name? Sam. He's a neuroscientist, but anyway, he does with meditation, and he says, you know, people are walking
Sam
around with
Harris.
untrained. Sam
Sam
Harris, yeah. Everyone's walking around with untrained minds, you know, and you're when you do meditation, you bring that back. You can learning to control your mind, and it's like you can start to have some peace, and just, you know, that thing up there is the thing that's going to taint everything, you know, and everyone you speak to and how you speak to people, and, you know, make the decisions that are going to affect not just you, it's going to affect you and everyone around you and the whole world, just because of what that thing says. If that thing up there says to me, I'm going crazy, I should stab that person or murder that person, then I'm having crazy thoughts. But they're just thoughts. It's just a voice. It's not a real thing. We have to learn to shut that thing up. We have to learn to get control of it, or quieten it down, so that we can just be nice, be loving, be kind, be useful. And when you do those things, you do those things with actions, not with thoughts. Thoughts
Yeah.
aren't anything; they're invisible. They don't exist. Be kind, be useful, do something, actually do it. So that's the only thing that's real, is what we physically do. Thinking about being kind and being useful is of no value to the world whatsoever. But if you actually be kind and loving and useful, then you're actually, like you with this channel. You're doing something and you're putting a message out, and you're actually doing something that's, if we help one person, Trudy, or you help, or you touch one person, then you're doing something. You're actually doing it. Thinking about it isn't doing anything.
You know, what struck me right now listening to you is that is how remarkable spirit is. You are learning all these things on your own, from your own experience, from your own meditation. But, translated it to the Indian mystics, Brahmana Maharishi, he will, if you using his teaching, I would say that what you are describing is what he say. He would say, uh, to ask ourselves to whom are the thoughts arising, and then
Yeah,
you, of course, you say to me, to I, and you keep looking to at me and I, and you separate the me and I from the thoughts, and then you keep asking, who am I, and then the real self comes out, and all these things disappear. And what you are describing is the same process.
yeah, 100%. Obviously there's chosen thoughts, the thoughts that you're having, that I need to press these buttons, or those are chosen. But sometimes that's this voice that's talking to us. We're not asking for information. We're not trying to fix a puzzle. This
No.
voice is just talking to us, unrequested, totally unrequested. It's saying, you're a piece of crap, blah blah blah, or you're no good, or oh, I'm lazy, or that person's a scumbag, or that person's a dick, or that, or I mean, for me, relationships, like if I've broken up with someone, and then, or you've had an argument, and it's just this constant, if you was bad, or you treated them bad, or if you did something, then you've got this judgment and this relentless analysis of all of your actions and everything you've ever done, talking to you endlessly. And that's unrequested information. 100% look at your actions, but do it in contemplation, do it as a choice. I'd break up with a partner, and it's just, they're you're just thinking about them. Oh, I miss them, or whatever it is, just non-stop. It's in your head. Now that's an untrained mind. That is a crazy, crazy mind that has no idea, that's not in control. And when this, through this stuff, and understanding that voice talking to you is not you. You are the thing that can hear the voice. It's like, Trudy, it's like, there's a brilliant one. It's like, if I say to you, don't say it out loud, but if I say to you, think of a color. Okay. Have you thought of a color?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you think of all the colors in the world, or did a voice just say purple or blue or red? Did a voice just says us, you just hear it in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you've repeated what you've heard.
Yeah.
So you're the one who decides whether or not to say it out loud. You're the thing that hears that. But this thing that's talking to us, fuck knows who that is. I don't know who that is. It's just your brain. That's hot, that's cold, that's slippery, that's wet. It's a software. Your brain is a software. It's not you. It's just a information thing that is there to remind you about stuff. And then for some reason, its default setting is negative, fear, because our whole species is alive because of fear. Because we, to stay alive, it's better to be fearful. And so it's the brain's default setting is fear. But there's no lions and tigers anymore. We can relax, and we need to start to learn to just quiet that down and just be loving, be kind, be useful, be compassionate, be, you know, good to each other. You know, all of these things are, you know, what we should do. You know, we have to work, we have to, but you know, very little of our mind is used to, you know, is used for what I mean. Everything I did this morning, cleaning my house, starting work. I don't even need to think about these things anymore. You know, I can just do them. And then you're just free to be. You're free to be, you know, actually just live and be in the moment. Thinking about, worrying about bills, worrying about the rent, worried about, you know, the tax man, worried about all of this stuff. Can I do anything about it right now in this present moment? If you're worried about it, do something about it in this moment. The only place that is real, the only thing that is reality is here and now. And just learning to stay there is a game changer. And it all starts with meditation, and then just learning to sort of meditate. Because like, I can't explain it as good as Sam Harris, but Sam Harris does the thing where in your meditation, you're aware of like noises and sounds, and you're just aware of them. They come like a car driving past. Yeah. That sound comes from nowhere. We're not in control of it. Just the sound comes and goes, and it comes into consciousness. That sound, it comes into your consciousness. But what he says is that when you open your eyes, visual is the same. That's everything just becoming aware in consciousness. As you turn a corner, you know, it's visualization is the same as sound, and everything is consciousness. So theoretically, we could meditate all the time and just be here in present moment just by focusing on the breath and staying in that moment. So yeah, be present. And that's all of this stuff is amazing to me. Like, so now I just walk around and I walked my dog this morning and actually looked at the trees and the sun and, you know, saw what a beautiful day it is, as opposed to walking my dog thinking about all of the stuff that I'm not doing, I need to do tomorrow, I need to work on, blah, 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 blah. I had all the same thoughts yesterday. I don't remember any of them, or lost in thought, and it's of no value. When you need to use your brain, use your brain. Of course, you need to focus on that moment, put it in that. But after that, it's just this, a lot of the time, it's 90% garbage that you can leave.
Yes. Well, I think we can end it on that note, being an hour. So let's continue this chat again.
Yeah, as always, Trudy, I'll
yeah, very interesting. Well, so thank you all for being here, and thank you, Alex. I have learned.
Lovely.
Yeah, I learned a lot, and I would say, you know, just now when you went into meditation, it just showed me how spirit teach us, you know, different. We are all different, and then we learn through spirit the same thing, but different ways, different way of looking at it. It's essentially the same essence, the same thing, but different ways because we are different. You know.
But we are all one.
yeah.
But yet we're all the same. Yeah.
All the same, and we are, so we can continue on next time. All the same, but we are still one, the oneness.
Well, I think that consciousness is, if I had your life and grew up where you grew, I would be you. And if you had my life and you grew up where I was, so we would all, it's all just reacting to our circumstances and our perception of reality and what's going on around us. If we grow up, you know, if we grow up in, you know, on the streets of New York, we're going to be very different people. And we're, you know, but we are all the one, you know, and it's, and then, yeah, getting there. But it's a deep journey. It's a deep journey, all of this stuff. Yeah, super interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bye all.
Bye, Trudy. Lots of love.
Bye.